Oh, all right, mamas. It is noon Central Standard Time, and our guest, she'll be right here. So I'm going to just check and make sure that this is actually working and we're actually live in the group. So if you're here, leave a comment. Let me see if it comes up on this super fancy new program that I'm using.
I'm here.
All right. Okay, so I'm just checking to see if we're live in the group yet.
Cool.
I don't
I
know
can.
how this works, so I don't see it actually.
Okay.
Oh
Let me
wait,
check
I
on.
see it.
Are we live?
Yes, but it's crazy because it looks like we've only been live for like a couple of seconds in it, but
Oh
um
yeah, it has a little bit of a delay.
okay. So let me check one more thing really quick and then we will get started. Um,
Alrighty.
okay. Okay. I think it's working, so we'll go ahead and get started. I still have like this crud in my throat, so if I have a coughing fit, that's why. So, welcome everybody. I am Jennifer Armstrong. I am the creator of the Mom Buns and Making Money group. I know that we have a lot of new people here, so I'll just introduce myself really quick. Again, my name is Jennifer Armstrong. You can read it down there too. But I am the recently transitioned from the corporate world into life and business coaching. So my background is I have an accounting degree and I have a master's in leadership and organizational development. I work specifically with unsupported and overwhelmed moms to basically create or take their business to the next level. And I have my own process in which I do that. And I'll actually, oh, look, Amy's on here. She can see us. So, yes, awesome. Um, I have my own process that I work with that I think is super unique with the moms that I work with. But yeah, so we'll learn more about that because kind of like my definition of what I do is all because of Ashley. So that's why I wanted to bring her in here. So this is Ashley Beels, and let me see if I can do this super cool thing. Ooh, it says introduce.
Oh, you're so fancy.
I know, but now I'm like, okay, I wanted to say the rest. So, Ashley is a business coach and a Meraki strategist. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to her to explain what the hell a Meraki strategist even is.
Cool. Well, hi, I'm Ashley Beels, and as Jennifer said, I'm a business coach and Meraki strategist. And I work with soulful, aspiring entrepreneurs and newbie coaches that really feel like it's beyond their time to what I call blow the damn lid off their business. So, my clients and I work through an understructure that encompasses mindset, creativity, and visibility. And I think that in order to reach like the first steps of mindset is like the clarity mindset, being really clear and confident in what you're doing. And I think to do that, we have to have a really clear intention of what we're doing, who we're offering it to, and what I call the Meraki statement. So, a little background on what Meraki is. Meraki is a Greek word that means to leave a piece of your soul or the essence of you in something you're creating. So, whether you're like, an artist and you're making an oil painting, right? Like you're leaving a part of yourself in that thing that you're creating. Whether you're like mini watching in the entrepreneurial space and service based entrepreneurs where you're creating your one-on-one packages, or maybe you're doing like a simple Facebook post, like all of that is your creation and expression of you, and we want to be able to leave a piece of ourselves in that, especially as service-based entrepreneurs. So that's kind of a little tidbit on what Meraki is. And what is a Meraki statement is essentially a feel-good formula that I created for like an elevator pitch. So that thing you're going to tell somebody when they ask you, hey, what do you do? And you can respond in a way that's super, super clear, but also super captivating for your dream or ideal kind of clients. Yeah, that's pretty much what that Meraki statement is. So did I cover what you asked, Jennifer? Is that
Yeah.
clear?
Yeah. So, like, when I discovered you in one of the groups and I went to see what you did, I was like, Meraki strategist, like what the hell is that? And then of course, I went to your website and I saw what it meant and I was just like, I'm a very like meaningful person, so I like to attach meaning to everything. And so when I read that, I was like, oh my God, that's like one of the most beautiful things ever and it's brilliant. And then it took me a while before I actually walked through the process of creating my Meraki statement. So, but I don't know, like I'm so excited for you to explain to them how to create their Meraki statement, and then I can even testify to like what it's done for me since I've created that.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to do that? Do you want to do that first so people like watching can see if they want to stay tuned with us and make one? Maybe you can tell them like what that was like for you and maybe what your Meraki statement is.
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna have to like I need to memorize it. I thought I had it memorized, and last night I was trying to like
Yeah.
quote it to my husband. I was like, "This is so amazing! Listen!" And then I was like, "Dang it! I don't even have it memorized." So hold on one second. I'm gonna
Hold it up.
read it. Okay. Can you still see me?
Yeah.
Okay, so here is my Meraki statement. I am Jennifer Armstrong, and I'm an intuitive life and business coach for overwhelmed and unsupported moms who work at home. I help these women free themselves from mom guilt and take their business to the next level. Using my unique process to rediscover themselves, simplify their mom life, and organize the shit out of their business, they feel divinely supported and empowered to be a badass mom and a wildly successful businesswoman.
So good.
And what's crazy is like every time I write that and read it, I feel like so empowered myself because it like is so real for me. Um, so let me see, like without telling people exactly the process, like when I started using this, let's say before I started using this, and I would go into some of my favorite groups and I would create conversation and people would be like, "What'd you do? What do you do?" Um, I would have to come up with like a new answer on the fly, like every time, and it was never consistent. And it was, I'm not gonna say like all over the place because I think it was true in that moment exactly what I was doing, but maybe it didn't fully encompass everything I did, and it didn't have the passion and the, I don't know, just the oomph behind it. So now, like when anybody says, "What do you do?" or like when I introduce myself in a new group, this is what I use, and I use it over and over, and I don't know, like I thought maybe in the beginning using it over and over would kind of lose its value, but actually I feel like it creates value. It's kind of like having our own brand story, and the more you say it, like people know. And so when I've added this to comments or I've introduced myself, like I all of a sudden attract people who are not feeling supported and need that support or feeling overwhelmed. And so I get flooded with comments or inbox,
Yeah.
messages or whatever, because just by that statement, they're like, I'm overwhelmed. I don't feel supported. Yeah, I want to rediscover myself. Yeah, I want to simplify my life. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel like I've become a magnet for my ideal client.
Yeah. And I think it's too like a part of it that I'm actually discovering after making this formula is that we're also speaking to their Meraki. Like whether they're aware of it or not, like their soul, like you said, is like overwhelmed and yearning. So like their desires and their yearnings are being spoken about in that statement. So it's like you're leaving your Meraki in it, but you're also speaking to theirs when
Wow.
it's really well, like yours. So I think that's like a big testament to like you writing it in a way that's sure it has you in it, but you're also speaking directly to them, and that's why they're captivating. That's why they're connecting with it so well because it's captivating and it's like speaking to their soul, and they're like, "Oh, I'm feeling like I could simplify the shit out of my life," or "I'm feeling super overwhelmed," and I'm like, you're speaking to their soul. Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense. And that's like me. Like I love that meaningful, deep soul feeling. So I love it.
Well, cool. I'm excited to show everybody how to do this.
Awesome. Okay.
Cool. So should I start with that part? We good for
I,
that?
yeah,
Okay.
I'm good.
So basically, I'm going to teach you guys the 3 steps of how to make a Meraki statement. And usually, what you'll find is you'll go and you'll write it, and you might like have some struggles with it, or there's one part you're going to be unclear on, like, oh, I don't know my who, or I don't know my what, or I don't know my how. So I just want to start off the bat with like anyone watching this in Jennifer's group, message me if you need help. We can like audio chat back and forth on Facebook Messenger. We can also sign you up for a Meraki statement call, totally complimentary, just for those of you watching in Jennifer's group, because I love Jennifer and I love her tribe, and I want to like serve that piece. So if you're needing help with this and you're like, this is cool, these are 3 easy steps, but you actually go to do it and you're like, oh, I'm struggling with words, just like reach out. So first of all, like when you're writing a Meraki statement, you do have to have some idea of what you want to do. So it's more for you, like if you're like, I know what I want to do, but I don't know how to word it. It's not a great formula if you're like, I just don't want to work to 9 to 5 and I have no idea what I want to do in life. Like that's a whole nother, this is like the step after. So if you have some idea of what you want to do in your business, whether you're selling a product or a service, this is a good format for you. So let's just dive into the 3 steps. It's super easy. So the first one is to just basically give your name and your title. So by this, I mean like introducing yourself conversationally in a way that's like, hi. Okay, I'm going to use an example I make up, and it's different every time, but her name's Susie Ann. Okay, we're going to use Susie Ann, and she's going to be a holistic wellness coach. I don't want to give like my example every single time. So, okay, so Susie Ann, she's a holistic wellness coach, and she's going to be writing this statement. So when she gives her name and title, it would look like, hi, I'm Susie Ann, and I'm a holistic wellness coach. That's the first part, super easy. However, little tip here on titling yourself. So for me, for instance, I'm a business coach, right? But I don't super resonate with that word. It's so much more than that. But I know that that's what my audience resonates with, and I know that they're familiar with it. So you could also do something if you're not like, you're like, I don't want to call myself a health coach or a business coach or a graphic designer or a virtual assistant. You can use 2 titles that speaks to your audience and is really clear and is kind of the umbrella title. And then you can get really specific and even make it up. I mean, mine's made up. Meraki strategist, I made it up. I trademarked it. That was that. So it kind of leaves you that piece of you, that Meraki piece in your statement. But also what I've noticed doing that unintentionally, it's been like, I don't want to call it clickbait, but a little bit, because people are like, what the hell is that? And they like, I can see like through, the analytics of my website, and my girl who does it for me lets me know that whenever I post that, if that's on a page of my website, it always goes over to the next page to learn more about what Meraki is. So it's also giving your audience an opportunity to learn more about you when you use kind of a mysterious term, not ambiguous, but mysterious. So kind of feeling out the difference there. Let's see. I think that's my only tip on title. Do you have anything to add, Jennifer, when you were making yours and coming up with your title?
I think it's important to know that like our title can evolve as we evolve. So like when I first started, I called myself a success coach because I didn't want to be like specifically a life or specifically a business. Like I just wanted to help people be successful. And then that kind of changed a little bit when I was reading other people's titles, and like different things resonated with me. So I don't even know, like right now, I call myself an intuitive life and business coach, and that may continue to change. So like, don't get stuck on like trying to make it absolutely perfect. Like even use something that just feels good right now. And I think, even you and I talked about how important it'd be to reevaluate our Meraki statements at least on a yearly basis. So don't get stuck on like, I have to have the perfect title now. So you can start with something, and then the beautiful thing is once you come up with all of these steps after she goes through them, like Ashley will go back and through and like revise and give you some feedback. And so just put something that feels good in the moment, and then you'll get feedback, and your title and your Meraki statement will evolve as you evolve.
Yeah, I love that. I tell people that too, because some of my clients will come back after like our session where we do this, and they'll be like, I'm really not resonating with, like today a client was talking about the word nomad. Like, should I change nomad? And like it changes, but also as you evolve, your business is going to evolve, your brand's going to evolve, therefore your Meraki statement's going to evolve. So yeah, I always revise it before the new year. I think about like, okay, like who are my clients this year? How can I speak to them even more, right? Because every year you get more experience in your business, you're a lot clearer on how to speak to those people, and also feeling out parts of it that maybe you don't want to work with anymore. Like I had a client just find out she doesn't want to work with just moms anymore. So she's changed her Meraki statement to be more encompassing to another target market. Does that make sense? And the opposite is true. Some people do just entrepreneurs, and they're like, you know what? I want to just work with mom entrepreneurs or stay at home side hustle mom. Like it can get as specific as you need, but that part evolves as you start seeing what you attract from that statement and your business and your vibe, and then you can like edit it. So I love that you brought up the letting it evolve part and not like overthinking it.
Right.
So cool. Okay,
We're
so
about
that was
simple
step.
shit over here.
Say that again.
I said we're all about the simple shit over here.
Yes, yes. So yeah, not like overthinking it. And if you are, just reach out to me or even Jennifer. She's been through this process, and we can both help you with that. So number 2, and this is like a little harder in a sense. I think each step gets a little trickier and trickier, is to really figure out who you want to serve and who your gifts serve. So what, like, I think with this step, it's nice thinking about what tools you have to offer, but also start thinking about who you want to give those tools to, and who that person is. So one really important that some people get scared, and this is where an elevator pitch gets hard, because elevator pitches are targeted at just one type of person. So great news, you don't have to do that in your Meraki statement, but you have to get specific with either the person or the feeling or both. So for instance, Susie Ann, this holistic wellness coach, she wants to work with, let's say, moms. She could leave it super vague in the term of just saying moms, right? But she's going to get really specific on how those moms are feeling. These aren't the, like, maybe she doesn't want to work with the so-and-so moms, but she'd rather work with the stressed and overwhelmed moms, right? Or maybe she wants to work really specifically with fatigued stay-at-home moms dealing with autoimmune issues, right? Like it could get really specific. So you either have to get specific on who you're working with or how they're feeling. The best thing to do is to do both, but very few people get that targeted on the niche and the target market and the feeling, but it does help. So for me, for instance, my Meraki statement says that I work with soulful, aspiring entrepreneurs. So pretty vague. I don't say ones that are trying to get out of their 9-to-5. I don't say that they have to be stay-at-home moms. I don't say that they have to be in the corporate world. It's vague. But their feelings and the results they're looking for are very specific. And that's where I feel like my tools help them. So the second step is really just getting clear on who your ideal client is, and think about like how they're feeling. So if you're wanting to work with a burnt out 9-to-5 boss lady, how are they feeling? What are their pain points? What are their concerns? What are their problems? I don't love that word, but air quotes, problems in their life, their challenges, and how can you speak to them in a way that's like concise? So going back to Susie Ann, she wants to work with these struggling and fatigued stay-at-home moms. So that's what she put in her sentence. Hi, I'm Susie Ann, and I'm a holistic wellness coach. I help struggling and fatigued stay-at-home moms. And that's kind of the end of that second part, just the who, right? She hasn't put how yet. So she has her name, she has her title, and she has her who. Does that make sense? Did I explain that well, Jennifer?
I do.
Anything step number 2?
No.
So
I mean, I will say the same thing that I said about the other one. Like, if you can't get super specific, be very vague and like don't overthink it, and then put it out for you or in your group to share, because the feedback, like the more feedback, like the more detailed it gets. So again, don't get like super hung up on it. Like put something that feels good in the moment, and then Ashley and all the other people that have been through this process will help you get to be more detailed on that.
Right. Yeah. Because I think too, like, say somebody watching this is thinking like, well, I haven't worked with people yet. I don't know what I want to like, who I want to work with or not. But you know that it's moms, or you know that it's entrepreneurs, or you know that it's graphic designers that you want to work with. You can leave it vague like that. And as you start attracting some more sales calls and clients, and maybe you'll start to learn, ooh, like, I don't think my tool set is really great for the person into a 9-to-5 or really struggling with mom life. Like, and then you start to edit your statement to fix that, right? Like, I think that's one part of it. And another part is to realize whatever you're putting in your Meraki statement doesn't mean you're going to take or deny a client if they don't fit that statement. So I had a guy sign up for a discovery call, which I'm always excited about, because to be completely transparent, in 4 years of 2 businesses, I've only had 3 guys even like want to work with me. So it's always interesting. My website is pink. My Meraki statement talks about women. I'm always speaking to her. So it's a good testament to like, just because you're speaking to one person doesn't mean someone else isn't going to resonate with your work. So don't be scared of like, oh, but if I say moms, like what if somebody's thinking about motherhood, are they not going to want to work with me? No, like they can still resonate with you on some level. And if they do, they'll book the call anyway. So, another good example of that is I don't say like I work with entrepreneurs getting out of corporate or getting out of a clinical job, like my background's in dentistry, or stay-at-home moms, but I still attract all three. You know what I mean? Because I'm a little bit more vague with that. They just fit the mold of the feelings. So yeah, good point, Jennifer. That part evolves. Really, all of these parts evolve, but that one especially. This last one I'd say is the one that doesn't really change that much unless you're completely redoing your business. So we'll go into step number 3, and that's going to be thinking about your how. Like, how are you going to help them? What tools from your tool belt are you going to take out and assist them with to reach their result and help them get, or guide them on their result? It's not going to be you. They have to do the work too. One tidbit, like for anyone listening, is you might be thinking, oh, I know how. I do one-on-one courses and I do online courses and I do one-on-one coaching and I do group. So that's great, but that's the vehicle. The vehicle can change whenever. You know, you might start with one-on-one and the next year you have this awesome online course. So I wouldn't really get too attached to putting that in your statement unless you do something like graphic design or an agency where it's really like clear of like, oh, I help my clients one-on-one, or do-it-yourself services, things like that. But if you're a service-based business, especially in coaching or teaching, education, the how is more about like, what is your unique process? What are your modalities? What is your framework that you're working clients through? Versus the vehicle you help do that with. Because you want that part to evolve. Next year, maybe you do an in-person retreat. And the following year, you're really big on group coaching. So not getting too attached to putting the vehicle part in the statement, and more speaking to your unique process. So for instance, Jennifer's statement, I think you even use the terms, by working with my clients through my unique process, right? You say something like that? Yeah. So you're letting them know, oh yeah, here's a unique process. Because at the end of the day, that's really what they're buying. There are other coaches who do what I do, as there's other coaches that do what Jennifer does. But what sets us apart, besides the obvious, you know, our vibes or our background stories and how they connect with us, is how we're helping them. And that's really what they're buying. If Jennifer were to like have her same target market, but says she does it through, what are 3 other things I can make up that are totally not your process? Strict organization and planning, and I don't know, I can't think of 2 others, but that would not be the same as like the process Jennifer delivers. And reading that, you're like, ooh, I don't like strict organization and planning. I want to make things really simple and easy. So you're going to pick Jennifer because of her how, right? So think of how you help your clients. And if you're not sure, ask them. If you're starting out, get those testimonials, read what your clients are saying about you, ask your friends how like you help them. Email a client and be like, hey, I really loved working with you last year. I'm rebranding my business and I'm making this statement. Can you tell me like what things that I used really helped you? And you can start to think of like categories if you want to keep it more dynamic. That's what I do, because no matter what I'm teaching, it always comes back to my 3 things: mindset, creativity, visibility. If I'm helping someone through manifesting or mindset work or clarity or this Meraki statement, it falls under that category of mindset. If I'm helping someone create a landing page or a website or giving them feedback on a Facebook post, that's creativity. If I'm helping someone build a funnel or come up with strategy of how to grow their Facebook group, that's visibility. So the things I do can be multiple, various different ways depending on the client's need, but the categories are the same. And that's my favorite approach, because you get to then use your Meraki statement to build content and to build offers and to use in your branding so that you can really monetize your Meraki statement. So keeping it, I shouldn't say vague, but to these categorical type things, allow people to get a little bit of a tidbit of what you're doing with them. But it also allows you to sit down each week where you're planning content or planning your one-on-one offer, and okay, I need to speak, in my case, mindset, creativity, visibility. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for Susie Ann, who's helping struggling and fatigued moms, she wants to help them, let's say through nutrition, exercise, and mindset, right? So that could be her how, like the three things she really helps moms feel and do to work through that fatigue and struggle. And then she has to put the end result. So this is kind of like part A and part B. So part A is how you're going to help them. Part B is that end result. So in her case, her clients are looking to connect back to their desires so that they can feel alive again, let's say. So when she puts this in a sentence, she says, I help struggling and fatigued stay-at-home moms connect back to their desires so they feel alive again by working through A, B, C, and D. And those are her hows. So it's like combining those two or making it two separate sentences. So it's 3 steps, but it could be 3 to 4 sentences. It could be 2 sentences. It just depends on your word choice, how long your how is, and what kind of results you want to put in the statement.
I love it.
That's pretty much.
Even in hearing you talk, it's like I start to think of more things that I would add or I would keep in mind, because you were talking about using testimonials from people, and a lot of people say in their testimonials for me are your cutthroat approach. Well, I didn't include that in my how, but even though I have like my rediscover, simplify, and I can see I don't even remember, but like I almost would love and organize the shit out of your business. I would almost enjoy something like the whole cutthroat, because that is going to eliminate people that think that like I'm like this softie and like super nice and we're just going to talk about it, because I'm not like that. I'm like, get down to business. We don't have time to fuck around, and I don't know. So I love just like hearing, that it makes, I don't know, it makes so much more sense to me.
Yeah. And that way you're like attracting people who are ready for that, and you're not wasting your time on discovery calls with people you don't connect with. And that's like a big thing I'm working with a client with right now. She gets a lot of discovery calls, and then she feels overwhelmed with like, oh my God, none of these are my people. These all didn't go well. And it's like, it's because she really, and as a coach, you can't tell someone what to do. We're just guiding them, right? And she made the decision, and I supported her in it, to leave that statement super broad. She was really feeling resistance and fear. But what's happened is it's so broad, she's attracting a little bit of everything. So for those of you who are like, I want to help everybody, I'm a health coach, I want to help anyone who's ready to get healthy. It's like, okay, totally cool. Very like, I get it. You want to be of service, but just know you will attract everybody. You will attract the people who are ready and not ready. You'll attract the people who pay you and don't pay you. You'll attract the people who, are super negative and are like just not ready to do the work, and the ones that are. So using those things like Jennifer said, and being honest with your approach is going to attract the people who are going to like get it, and that you're going to be able to offer your gifts to. It'd be very hard for Jennifer being like, to the point, and what did someone call it? Cutthroat approach. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. To have somebody who's like going to be crying the whole time in a session because they're just not ready to hear anything, right? Like that wouldn't be her person. Yeah. So saying that weeds out the people who are like, oh, I just want somebody to like hold my hand and be fluffy with me, and I don't know.
I love that you said fluffy, because I've told my like when I'm on a discovery jam session is what I call it, I'm like, I don't have a whole lot of fluff, and I really like, you can't get your feelings hurt, because everything that I do share with you is out of love. And that's seriously, like, I almost feel like I need to brainstorm a little bit how to include that in my statement, because I think that it would eliminate some of those that couldn't handle it, really,
Yeah, and I love that. I mean, I use the word fluff a lot in multiple parts of my business. Sometimes I'll say what the fluff instead of what the fuck, or I'll just say, we're going to do a training, it's going to be fluff free, because it's annoying sometimes to get on trainings that are like 20 minutes about them, and they're waiting for people to get live, and there's all this fluff, and no one has time for that, especially your target market. We're like dealing with moms. Like, we don't have time to watch a 1-hour Facebook live video, right? So I kind of feel like that's what we did right here. We just like got to it. There's no fluff. You already have the 3 steps. You could stop watching now and you can go do this.
Absolutely. And okay, so to add, like, piggyback on that, like, this keeps us moms who are freaking busy and have children running around and like, oh my God, throwing tantrums and shit like I do right now. Like when someone asks me, what do? I don't have to sit down and like come up with like something in the moment and try to be able to, I don't know, I guess articulate that. I can literally just copy and paste, but it's still extremely powerful and so true. It's not super generic. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's not like some copy paste. Like the way it's written, no one knows you're copy pasting it ever because it seems like you typed it in the moment because it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's a fancy grammar word. Colloquial speak.
Ooh.
Like you can add that like part in it. So okay, pro tip, this is bonus time.
All right.
You already have your 3 steps, like you're good to go, but we'll just like chat on some bonuses here. So what you can do is where I keep all my stuff, first of all, I use Asana, but whatever you do, Trello, Asana, notes on your iPhone, it can be super simple. I have Meraki Statement, and in there I have 4 different ones. I know that sounds overwhelming, but hear me out. I have my main one, and then I have one written in third person. That way, if like someone's like, or like Jennifer, for instance, hey, Ashley, I want to have this video with you. What, give me your bio, right? That's my bio, is my Meraki Statement. I don't care to tell them anything else about me until they read that, right? And until they like, because my Meraki's in it. So they can figure out where I went to school and my education and blah, blah, blah later on. So that's what I give them. And it's written in the third person. So you can write one in the first person, write one in the third person, get a really short one in case it's like for your Instagram bio or, your Facebook bio, something like that. That way, no matter what you're doing, you don't have to rewrite it every time. Like Jennifer said, you can be super quick with it, copy, paste, send off. If they vibe with it, they'll message back, comment back, schedule the interview, give you the article, give you the speaking gig, whatever. And it's just like something, it's like a tool you literally have at the forefront of your business. Tip number 2 is once you have that statement, you can start to make your offers, brand your business, write that content. And when you're struggling, you're like, what is my one-on-one program going to be about? Or what the hell am I going to write on Facebook today for my posts? You can look at your statement. So for mine, for instance, I think, okay, what does the soulful entrepreneur need to hear today to work their mindset, right? And I can talk about that. The next day, if I'm feeling confused, maybe I want to talk about creativity or visibility. So it just gives you like an idea of like, oh yeah, that's what I need to speak to. And then you can speak to the results. How is Susie Ann going to help them, the struggling and fatigued stay-at-home moms, connect back to their desires? And maybe she has a tip for the day to do that. So you're always speaking to it because that's what you're branding. And it makes your brand super concise because it's fluid. From the way you described yourself to them landing on your website, it's there again. It's in your brand. It's all over the place. And then your offers and your content all talk about the same things. It's consistent and it's not fluffy and it doesn't get confusing, and people have a really clear idea of what you do because you have that at the forefront. So that clarity piece paves the way for the creativity piece. So if you're struggling writing content, you're struggling writing your one-on-one offer, get that statement done first and you'll see the rest just like flows a lot easier.
I totally 100% agree. Okay. So let's tell them, even though that they've like watched this, instead of coming back and watching a really long video, that they can actually go to your YouTube video and watch it and replay it on how to do the Meraki statement.
Yeah. So you have a link for that, right? We'll post that in the video. Yeah. So you can also go to ashleybeels.com/Meraki statement, MERAKI statement. And in there I have like the format written, but if you're a video person, there's a link for it. And Jennifer just posted the link to the YouTube video. I think it's 5 minutes and it gives you a very condensed version of these 3 steps. So you're watching this video, you're like, cool. You go and you write it and you forget, go check out those resources, totally free. They're also opt-in free. So honestly, totally free material. You don't have to give me your email address. I'm not going to flood your email box because I don't even get your email. So totally free. Check that out. And if you're struggling, add me on Facebook, pop into my messenger. I check that every day. I pretty much respond pretty quickly. And we can like chat about it there. We can audio message it. You can reach out to Jennifer, ask her. She's a really, really good one. I'm not just saying this because I love her, but like honestly, I think it's one of the best I've seen. I love
Oh,
it. So good. It's so
I
good. Like right away, you just like got it the first time around.
Well, it's the reason I got it the first time around is because I literally like watched everybody else post in your group. So if you're not a part of Ashley's group, I'll post that too so that you can go and join her group. But like what people will do is they'll go in and they'll post their Meraki statement, and then Ashley comes back and she gives like amazing recommendations. And then you'll see like every once in a while other members pop in and say, well, what about this? Or, ooh, this sounds better. And like anyway, so when I was doing mine, I just like went through and like read all your recommendations.
Yeah.
And but still, I think we revised it like 3 or 4 times. So and I like in mine, I use all caps like for my important words.
Yes.
So like
Yes.
mom guilt is in all caps, and then like my 3 things, which is rediscover yourself. So rediscovers caps, simplify your life. So simplify is caps, and then organize your business. So organize is caps. So
I love that.
yeah, I'll have to. What I'll do is I will. Okay, so you can go to her website and see everything here, and then I will add her link to the Facebook group. And then I'll even post my Meraki statement too. And if you want to come in and post your Meraki statement on the comments too, um,
Yeah.
that way people can read them. So let me see if I can add this.
I'd say the number one thing people forget is the how.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
They're like,
why.
I help entrepreneurs live in freedom and bask in joy. And I'm like, okay, cool, but how? Or I help entrepreneurs travel the world. And it's like really fluffy, which is good because it's a feeling part. But I'm like, you still need the other part. How the hell do you do that? What makes you different than the other person who's going to help me do the same thing?
And it's super important, like when you're on Facebook and you need to set yourself apart somehow. So like stop with the thinking of like, oh, I'm going to like alienate and like not these clients won't come to me. Stop thinking like that, because when you get really more specific and you are unique, that's when people are going to start being attracted to you.
Yeah. I'm gonna just so you know right now when you did the you posted the link, I think it's wrong.
Well,
So
yeah.
I think that Zoom TV or Be Live TV added like the word show to the end of it.
Okay. Is it
I can
called
post
Meraki Mavens? What?
Facebook.com/group/the Meraki Mavens.
Okay.
I put a link in the comments.
Oh, bomb diggity.
Right now, when it popped up, it did /show at the end, which I think has something to do with the program we're using. There you go.
Awesome. Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so let me make sure that we went over everything. We talked about what you do. We talked about what Meraki means. We talked about how to create your Meraki statement, shared your
Uh-huh.
website, and now everybody needs to go be a part of her amazing group. So I think that about covers everything.
Yeah. And I
Again,
went to see if anyone had questions. Emmy was with us live and Gina. Hi to you both. And Gina just left a comment because we did a Meraki statement together a couple weeks ago.
yeah. So see, I feel like I attract people that like to add specific meaning. I know Emmy and Gina both on a personal level, and yeah. So when Gina said that the Meraki piqued her interest, it totally makes sense.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm super happy we did this, and I'm glad the tree trimmers outside didn't totally wasn't totally loud for us. I hope it wasn't for people watching. But yeah, I
I
was
didn't
really
hear
excited.
it.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sweet. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Again, if you have not done your Meraki statement, you definitely need to join Ashley's group, the Meraki Maven, and start creating your statement. Post it in there. We'll all give you guys feedback. And Ashley, you said that you are going to provide one-on-one calls for.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that. So if you're struggling with this, reach out to me. I was opening up 11 free calls and they're all booked. So my calendar link is not going to let you schedule it. So what you can do is just message me and we can talk about it in there. And if we're still struggling, I'll send you a link, a private link where you can sign up for a free call and we can get on the phone for 20, 30 minutes and like make it work, knock it out. I can give you feedback, or if you want just like more coachy guidance on how to write it, or if you're just like, okay, tell me how it is. How does this sound to you? I can just give you like my honest feedback. So whatever you need, I'll support you for your Meraki call or your Meraki statement.
Awesome. Awesome. Well,
So,
thank you so much. We'll have to do this again soon and figure out something else cool to talk about. But I'm telling you guys, like, this really, really, really changed how I communicated on Facebook, and it really made a difference in like people like me being a magnet for the people that I wanted to attract. So it is so important. Like, just fucking do it. Just do
love
it.
it.
So. All right. Well, we will see you guys later. Thanks for joining us. If you do watch the replay, write replay in the comments. Leave any questions that you have, and we'll get back to you with answers on those. So
Cool.
awesome. All right,
Yeah.
everyone, have a wonderful day.
Bye, guys.